right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of FAPA Talk. I am Tim Genc, and I am here with Stacy from Ameristar. Stacy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Tim. It's great to be part of FAPA.
Oh, you are so welcome. We enjoy having you guys at the events. Well, tell us a little bit about you. Again, I know you a little bit, but tell everyone else, who are you and how did you get into this side of aviation and Ameristar?
Well, I was a client of Ameristar's 30 years ago. And 24 years ago, they invited me to join the company, and I did. I love it. I'll do another 24 years if they'll have me. And I came on to start the airline side. So really today we're talking about Ameristar Jet Charter, the 135 operation, and Ameristar Air Cargo, the 121 operation.
Awesome. So there's two different sides. You got the 135 and the 121 side.
Yes, sir.
That's exciting. Well, apart from that, tell me a little bit about who Ameristar is.
Well, Ameristar is wholly owned by Tom Walkendorfer Jr., and we were founded in 1988. So we're over 30 years old. He started as 135 with one airplane. When I started calling Ameristar, he answered the phone, he flew the freight, and if it broke, he fixed it because he's also an A&P. That was
It's a one-stop shop.
That was 16 airplanes ago and a lot of employees along the way. In 1999, we started Ameristar Air Cargo, the 121 airline that does cargo and high-end passenger charters. We're based in Dallas, Texas, and have another maintenance facility in Detroit, and just a lot of fun working there.
Absolutely. So the maintenance facility is just to go ahead and take care of stuff if it's on the road?
Yes, line maintenance. And we have mechanics at both bases who travel to aircraft on the road because we fly to 800 different airports in a year.
Wow.
We don't have any schedules. So we don't actually know where we're going on a given day.
That could be exciting. There's something adventurous about not knowing whether you need to pack a parka or your flip-flops.
Both.
Yes.
You're going from Laredo to somewhere in Wisconsin. You need them both.
Awesome. Awesome. What aircraft are you flying? 16 or 17 aircraft in the fleet, I guess you had mentioned?
Yes, sir. In the 135 side, we fly a King Air E90 based at Dallas. That's the only pilot who has to live in Dallas.
Okay.
In a fleet of Falcon 20s. Those were the original FedEx freighters.
Okay.
They're fantastic. They carry 6,000 pounds of freight, and they're durable. They're wonderful aircraft. And on the 121 side, we operate DC-9s that carry about 20,000 pounds of cargo and 737-200s that have been retrofitted from 122 seats to 60 first-class passenger seats.
Okay. So a little bit of everything.
Yes.
You had talked about where you're based and that the only one of your pilots that really have to be based anywhere are the Dallas pilot for the King Air. So
Yes,
the rest of your pilots can be wherever.
Anywhere in the United States where they can get close access to an airplane. Their first day on, Ameristar flies them to their aircraft, and their last day on, Ameristar flies them home because the aircraft is rarely in Dallas or Detroit where our bases are. So today, there's an airplane in Kansas, there's an airplane in Arkansas, there's an airplane in Washington. We're all over the map. So we fly you to wherever the airplane is.
Okay,
Our guys get a lot of frequent flyer miles.
I'll bet. And so you mentioned you're flying him in on day one. So once again, different than the 121 side, where if you're a commuter, often you're commuting the last one of your days off, and then you're commuting back home the first one of your days off. So a 4-3 schedule ends up being kind of 2, maybe 1.5 days off. But this is a part of their trip, so they're getting their full time off.
Exactly.
Awesome. And what is the normal schedule?
121 varies a lot. So both companies combined only have 78 people. We are small and we like it that way. So I hate to say this, but the pilots pretty much make their own schedules. They request days off. We try to make sure it happens. And since everyone's a team, you don't have that seniority sort of fighting where you're never going to see your kid on his birthday again. The 135 guys like about 6 on, 4 off, 5 on, 4 or 5 off. And the 121 guys are all over the map. Some of them request the first 18 days of the month on and the last 18 days of the last month. So they're on for 36 days in a row. Some of those are guys who travel overseas, who have family abroad or whatever else. And others like 9 days on, 4 days off. We're super flexible.
It sounds like it. So apart from the small company family feel, Apart from without saying they make their own schedule, they make their own schedule. Apart from the not having to commute on your days off, I'm not sure if we can come up with any more reasons, but let's try. Why would somebody want to go the Ameristar route as opposed to either another charter operator, another corporate operator, or maybe if we can call it the traditional airline route?
Well, some people who want to go to the traditional airlines should come to Ameristar first. We have more than 85 pilots at Southwest Airlines alone, and we're very proud of that. So for young people coming on, this is a great place to get plenty of jet time, to fly all over the country, to fly in different types of weather, and still flying turbine jet aircraft. So they move on to the majors, and we're thrilled for that. Um, for people who are over 65, there's always a place for them on the 135 side. So it's crazy. We'll have like a 23-year-old co-pilot and a 71-year-old captain a lot on the Falcon side. On the airline side, what we find is, the company tries to be everything to everyone. We build schedules where there's all these incentives for extra days, and we find young men really want to work the extra days. Then they get married and their kids are small and they don't want to work extra days. And then the college bill comes up and they want to work extra days. And how do we know they're there for their all? A lot of the pilots at Ameristar have been with us more than 20 years.
Oh,
Some
wow.
leave and go somewhere else and then come back home, and that's fine with us too.
Okay, so I mean, it's not like the people that are, we'll call them time building that hours and experience and maybe move on to bigger and faster things. That's not a problem.
No.
This is a home
And
for them.
sometimes the bigger and faster things is moving to Ameristar Air Cargo, the airline side. So lots of our guys who are flying the DC-9s and 737s now were flying a Falcon for us 20 years ago.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Um, so for those young people, maybe the younger pilot that maybe is going to go ahead and cut their jet teeth with Ameristar, what kind of minimums are you looking for?
We're usually looking for 1,500 hours total time. We
Okay.
can hire at 1,000, but at 1,000, you really need some serious either multi-time or serious night and instrument time, only because we want to upgrade you quickly. We hired a guy at the very first FAPA we attended, and in less than 1 year, he upgraded to captain on the Falcon.
Oh,
We're super proud of that. We're grateful to you for that. So the more time you have when you start with us, the easier it is to get to the left seat, of course.
okay. Any turbine time in those requirements or just 1,500 total time? Sure, turbine's a
No,
plus, but
turbine's a big plus, but not required.
okay, wonderful. All right. So if someone's listening to this and they're checking the boxes, too good to be true, too good to be true, too good to be true, how do they get more information?
Uh, they can send a request to hr@ameristarjet.com or
Okay.
go to our website, www.ameristarjet.com.
Okay. When should someone apply? And do you guys have hiring windows that open up, or are you just generally hiring a lot?
Our hiring window has been open since 1999. Thank you. They can apply anytime. There's a Falcon class in right now. There's a DC-9 class starting right now. Those are the last classes this year. We'll start again in January with another hiring class
Awesome. Where are classes normally?
in Dallas.
Okay.
So we bring guys in for a week or two, then a week of Zoom. You can tell I don't handle that. And then a week in the simulator in Florida.
Okay. Fantastic. Um, and how long before someone reaches their 1,500 hours or 1,000 hours for the especially qualified candidate, how long before that can they apply? Or would you prefer to them to apply?
We are tracking all the guys we meet at FAPA, even who have 450 hours.
Okay.
So even if they forget to find us, we'll find them. I'd say
Okay.
about the 1,000-hour mark, they should apply.
Okay. This is all great. Thank you so much for all the information. Very exciting. We'll go ahead and kind of start wrapping things up a little bit. Let's do a couple fun questions. You've interviewed pilots before. You know that it's like the Forrest Gump. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know exactly what you're going to get. What is either your strangest, craziest, or most memorable interview story? If you had to only pick one.
We were being Ameristar was being interviewed for a TV show, and I was slated to call in 4 pilots and have them not prepare for the show, right? They were just supposed to be interviewed casually.
Sure.
And one of the guys came in and talked about the mating rituals of turtles in the Galapagos Islands. We're not on that TV show. You can catch us though. Did you know Ameristar aircraft have been in Blind Spot, The Handmaid's Tale, the movie The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx and Jennifer Garner?
No.
Next, we've done a lot of movies and television in addition to flying auto parts.
Are any of them about turtles on the Galapagos Islands?
Thank God, no.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's a first. That's a whole lot.
Yes. Hopefully it's a last too.
Yes, exactly. One and done. No one can top that one. All right. Hey, last question before we go ahead and close things up. Your favorite airplane. It could be one that you've flown, haven't flown, want to fly, fantasy aircraft. You can tell me you want to fly a pterodactyl, whatever it ends up being.
Well, Snoopy's Doghouse.
Absolutely.
No, actually, one of my dogs is named Piper. I just think the Piper Cub is a fun little airplane.
Oh my gosh.
But at the end of the day, even if my worst day, I go outside and I see an Ameristar Falcon or I see an Ameristar DC-9 and I smell that fuel from an airplane that only gets 755 miles or burns 755 gallons an hour. I'm always happy. But yeah, if I had to pick my fantasy airplane, I'd take a ride with Snoopy one day.
Because we're in the Christmas season right now, and I was just listening to the Royal Guardsman, Snoopy and the Red Baron Christmas version of the song.
Oh, fantastic.
It's so funny that you bring that up. So
I can't believe I said that on something that might be published, but there you have it.
It's not. We're not talking about turtles on the Galapagos Isles, so you're good.
That's right.
You pretty much like threw out the worst argument first, and everything you say after that is fine.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to go ahead and toss in before we wrap this one up?
No, we appreciate all the guys we've hired who came from FAPA. They're all doing great, so you should be proud of that. We love spending time with you and your organization. We're glad for the opportunity to tell people a little bit about the Ameristar companies today.
Yes, we feel exactly the same way. Can't wait to go and see you at the next event.
Yes, sir.
And, it's going to be exciting. We're wrapping up the year, and we've already got a whole schedule for next year. So it's going to be big fun. So
I'll see you in January.
Yes, exactly.
Where are we? Orlando?
Orlando, yes.
Orlando. Okay.
So I think it's going to be the same place that was the last couple of years. So it's always a fun problem.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Look forward to seeing you soon, and look forward to seeing everybody else soon. Take care.